welcome. There had been a lot of conversation and discussion in Dolphin Nation about Dez Bryant, him getting cut from the Dallas Cowboys, and the potential for him to, is Miami a good landing destination for him? I want to talk about that because I've had some in-depth conversations with a lot of the guys and gals that are subscribing to my channel about Dez Bryant. So I want to go ahead and make a video discussing what I really think in the overall, and because I want to debunk some of the rumors that are about that situation as well. Because I think some of us have the wrong perception of what could have happened and what reality really is. Okay, so first and foremost, a lot of people are upset that the Miami Dolphins did not pursue Dez Bryant, and instead they signed Danny Amendola, and who was it? Let me see on my who was that? Who else did they sign? Danny Amendola and Albert Wilson. Whew, my mind went blank for a second there. Danny Amendola and Albert Wilson. We signed these two wide receivers for, I believe, $8 million each. Okay, Danny gets about $8 million a year, I think, on a 3-year deal. The other wide receiver gets about $8 million a year as well. Could we have gotten Dez Bryant for $8 million? Being that I think Dallas still had to pay him money, I believe, yes, we could have gotten Dez Bryant for $8 million. I think Dez Bryant would have came to Miami. I know Dez Bryant received an offer that he turned down, but it was, I believe, pennies to what he probably felt his value was worth, and a team that he pretty much probably didn't want to play with. But I think Dez Bryant actually would have wanted to come play with Miami, given the roster and the setup. It might have been a good opportunity for him to revive his career, because the Dolphins have a long history of taking players that have been to the Pro Bowl, maybe missed it for 2 years, and then they get cut by their team. The Miami Dolphins pick them up, and they're back to the Pro Bowl again. Like, for instance, let's see, who was the cornerback that we had? Brent Grimes. Yes, Brent Grimes, same thing. We picked him up in one of his best seasons. So we tend to do that with a lot of veteran players. And I think that's why we kind of get in free agency, we grab a lot of the veteran players as well. Dez Bryant, let me say this for the record, okay? Dez Bryant would have been a great pickup for the Miami Dolphins in place of Albert Wilson. One thing that Albert Wilson has as an advantage over Dez Bryant is age. I believe Dez is turning about 30, which isn't bad for a player that has accomplished the things that he's accomplished. But I think the league is, as a whole, moves in the direction of more youth. Albert Wilson's 26 years old, so there's still an upside and progression that they feel that Albert Wilson can display. Dez Bryant, they've seen his peak, and it's a case of, can he even get close to being back there? So I think that's what any front office is going to look at for Dez Bryant. Before I go further in it, let's talk about the state of Dez Bryant for a second so you get a better understanding of why I'm going to go where I'm going to go. All right. A lot of teams aren't jumping to sign Dez Bryant right now. There's a lot of speculations on the reason why. The football reason is Dez barely runs any routes on the route tree very well right now. Dez is dropping a lot of balls right now. Dez is not playing elite football in the NFL. To be a 30-year-old not playing at the level that you need to play to stay in this league, that kind of sums up what a lot of people are saying that Dez is, okay? But on the flip side, Dez is a 3-time Pro Bowler. Dez is a player that will be a red zone threat for any team even today. Dez Bryant is a player who can go up and fight for the ball and get the ball. And we know that he has been missing some catches, but hey, let's be honest here. This league, people miss and some people catch. But going back on the not so good side for Dez Bryant, receivers are getting better. It's becoming a lot easier to catch the ball in the NFL. And when I say easier, it's always going to be the same skill level. It's just that players are doing it at a much higher clip these days. Most players in the NFL starting are more reliable these days. Okay? So you have to be a reliable catcher. All right? Quarterbacks are getting so great that they can even throw you open. You have to finish the deal. In today's NFL, quarterbacks make it so easy for wide receivers. There's not many cases, maybe a handful of teams where receivers are better than the quarterback and the quarterback's just stinking it up. All right. So that's not good for Dez. But you can't discount his history. You can't discount what he has done, what he's capable of doing. Even if he hadn't showed it in 2 years, you know that it's still in there if he has anything left. So I think the ending question on Dez Bryant is, does he have anything left? Me personally, I like to think so. I like to think that if if we didn't sign the receivers that we did, we should have went after Dez Bryant. Now I know whenever it comes to age, some of you may say, "Yeah, okay, I understand Albert Wilson because he's 26, but Danny Amendola is, I believe, 32, older than Dez." But you have to understand that Danny Amendola signing, it's bigger than just Dez versus Danny Amendola. Danny Amendola has Super Bowl experience, Super Bowl pedigree. Dez Bryant's never been out of the first round of the playoffs or the second round because he probably had a bye. He's never played more than 2 games in the playoffs, or one, I don't think. So that Super Bowl experience with Danny Amendola is one thing. Not to mention he is coming from our biggest rival, the New England Patriots. That is a huge plus. He knows the defense's tendencies. He knows their offensive tendencies. When you're on a new team, to me, it is a disgrace if you're not sharing information. I don't want to hear anything about as out of respect to the other team. I'm not giving any hints or what we did or anything like that. If you sign with the Miami Dolphins, you better sell your soul to telling everything you all did. So I hope Danny Amendola is one of those players. Okay, so I like to think that's another reason you signed Danny Amendola. And it's not like Danny Amendola isn't a baller. Yeah, he's not a 1,000-yard catcher a year, but Tom Brady spreads the ball out, but he's reliable. He's been reliable for Tom. He's been reliable for the Patriots. And that's what you look for is reliability. Okay? So as far as saying that Dez would have been a better option over any of these two players, I would have definitely signed Amendola. Maybe Albert Wilson, I wouldn't have. So some of y'all may be thinking right now, so why didn't the Dolphins do it? That was just stupid. Why wouldn't they do it? Well, let's talk reality. It was never possible for them to do that. Because it's free agency, guys. Free agency. As soon as that bell hits for free agency, it is a race to get the best value for the best player and fill holes on your roster. Early in March, free agency was up and on, and the Miami Dolphins quickly inked Danny Amendola and Albert Wilson. We inked the best available wide receivers that we could get at the time. What about Dez Bryant? Dez Bryant wasn't even released from the Cowboys yet. Nobody even knew if Dez Bryant was going to be a free agent or not. Dez Bryant was still under contract to play 1 more years with the Cowboys. Everybody was under the impression that they were going to be negotiating and possibly bringing the salary down so that they can keep him. Was he going to take a pay cut or was he not? That's what was happening at the time. You can't sit around and hope that a team releases a player and let everybody go and then try to get them because you don't know. You have to sign who you can at the time. It's a bad situation for Dez Bryant because every team in the NFL did that. And they were supposed to sign who they can to fill holes. So at the end of the day, Dez is automatically at a disadvantage. This is why he was never going to sign with Miami. He wasn't released from the Cowboys until the following month. After almost every NFL roster had their team made up or their draft pick already in mind, their depth chart for it. They knew who they wanted to go after. Dez did get a few little offers, but at the end of the day, he doesn't want to go there, and it's for pennies to him, I believe. So it was never realistic for us to get Dez, guys. Can we still get Dez? Of course we can. But now we would be entering a realm of just not smart. We've already gave guaranteed money. We already have 2 receivers for $8 million each. We can't. I mean, I wouldn't load the depth chart just to have another receiver. I mean, I believe you have to stick with what you have at this point. Will he add that much value to go spend another 8 million and be over the salary cap? No. It's wishful thinking as if he was available when everyone else was, but that wasn't the case. So Dolphin Nation, we have to make sure that we're not getting on our team for doing what they had to do. We have to make sure that we're being realistic about these things as well. All right. So the receiving core we have, I like them. I like what we have. I think that this is enough to win the Super Bowl. So with that being said, Dez Bryant and the Miami Dolphins does not look like it's something that's going to happen or never was going to happen. So I know it's something we can keep talking about, but at the end of the day, that's the reality. All right. So thanks for watching the video. If you like, make sure that you subscribe, share the video. We're trying to get to 200 subscribers as soon as possible. I'm going to do everything I can to make that happen. And then if you guys can help out, this is Dolphin Nation. We work together. All right, guys. I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.